doesn't run. Oh, shut up. What's going on, guys? I bought myself a Toyota Soarer. The only problem is, it's been off the road for 10 years, it doesn't run, and not only do I want to save it and get it back on the road, I want to be able to drive it to the Toyota National Day. But that's in 25 days' time. So I've got my work cut out. Let's go and take a look. Now then, a quick bit of background on this car before we take a look around it. It's an import. It came into the country, I believe, in 2005. The previous owner down the road owned it for 13 years, drove it around for a few years, then drove it into his garage, and it never really came out again. And it's been off the road for 10 years. And it was found by my young apprentice, George. Thank you very much for finding it. And it doesn't run. But of course, when I viewed the car, the guy said it always runs. It's a runner every time. First thing on the key. Doesn't run. So of course, when me and my old mate Rich went to view the car, I wanted to buy a runner, and he assured me it's a running car. So what we did is we pulled the distributor cap off. Rotor arm was disgusting, so I said, right, I'm going to go away, I'm going to order one, I'm going to come back. Came back with a good battery as well, stuck a battery on, stuck the new rotor arm on, turned the key. It was the same. But the fact that it had been sat for 10 years means at least turning it over without running the car generated a bit of oil pressure, every cloud and all that. So we thought, now we've got spark, confirmed it by looking at a spark plug. And we thought we must have no fuel. So before we'd even bought the car, we pulled the rear seats out, took the fuel pump out, cleaned the connections up, gave it a tap with a stick, literally with a stick, in the back lane of where the guy lived, popped it back in, turned the key. Go on then. He ran beautifully. The engine is a 3-litre 2JZ GE, which unfortunately means it's non-turbo, and it has a Slushtronic 4-speed gearbox, which is cool. It's a GT, it's a cruiser. You want to get in, stick it in drive, and drive off into the sunset. And then obviously since then, as you can see, in between getting it recovered home, it stopped working again. So I need to order myself a fuel pump. Let's go and have a look around the car. Right, let's first of all start underneath the bonnet. Working gas struts, which is not bad to be fair. 3-litre Toyota twin cam 24 valve, and I can't find the turbo because it doesn't exist. We've got a lot of evidence of something that's been sat for quite a while, but it doesn't take long to realise that that's going to come up relatively nice with a little bit of love and attention. I pulled the dipstick. The engine oil is fresh. I pulled the cap off the radiator and the coolant looks red and beautiful, so it's the evidence of a car that has been looked after. Brand new battery, which has held its charge for weeks and weeks at a time, which is a nice touch. Unfortunately, the only bad bit, apart from the fact it doesn't run, is the valve cover gasket is horsing out. Absolutely horsing out. It's all over the block, it's all over the gearbox, it drips on the floor. So we got a new one of those on order. But underneath the bonnet, it's been sat for a long time, but after a little bit of TLC, I'm hoping not to go too much to town on it, but we should get it looking relatively presentable. Famous last words. Very, very heavy bonnet. And round the car, it's in pretty good nick. There's a few little scuffs and dents on this side, where the guy had a small single garage and he reversed it in a couple of times and he knocked the corner of the door, and that's probably when he said, I give up, I'm leaving it in there. because this is a relatively big car. This is 4.8 meters long. It's touching the door at the front and it's touching the wall at the back. But arch-wise, I can't find any rust. I do see a problem just here, and that's those wheels. My God, they're not for me, being polite. Discs, rusty, a little bit lipped. We're probably going to have to do new ones of those. And when it was running, it runs like a top. It runs beautifully. We'll have a little look at that gorgeous cloth interior in a second. Moving round to the front, it is pearlescent. All we've done at this stage is just given it a wash, and it really has come up beautifully. This pearl paint is, for 1993, very impressive. Round the front, more yucky yuckness. The brakes are pretty much all locked on and seized on, so they will be replaced. Wheels and tyres, pretty good at the back, and at the front, you know, they need to go in the bin. It is what it is. We'll have a look underneath the car if we can in a second. Scooting on round. Griffin? What is it with Toyota? The Century has a bloody chicken on it. The MR2 has a eagle on it, or whatever it is, and this has got a flying lion. Correct me, what is it? Round this side, this is the good side actually. This is my good side. All good all round here, everything looks pretty nice. Couple of chips that have evidence of being touched up, but you know, it's an older vehicle. Badged as a Lexus at the back, and this is a GT model. I think they were predominantly automatic, but some of them did come with a manual gearbox, which was the gearbox out of the Toyota Supra, I believe. Massive, massive doors, humongous heavy doors, heavy bonnet, heavy boot lid, heavy car, and as a consequence, massive over-engineered hinges. I mean, they're huge. They're a work of art. They should be on the outside of the car, not inside the door shuts. I think they're wonderful. Also, where's my keys? Check this out. 1993. Digital dash and working power foldies, working central locking. We've got rear seats, which I would have thought would be as comfortable as the front seats. Radio works, climate control doesn't. The screen has bled out. I believe you can get replacement screens, but it's the least of our worries because we've got 25 days to get it back on the road and drive it to the National Day, and it doesn't run. Nice glove box. I believe that's for undoing the wheels. I hope it is. Oh, and a locking wheel nut key that doesn't fit the car in any way, shape or form. We'll go into that in a bit of depth later. Inside, like I say, it's had a bit of a spruce up, bit of a Bizzle Spot Clean Pro. Seats were a little bit stained, but they're now nice and clean and funky. We need a new button for that one. I don't believe that self-tapper is factory from Japan, but correct me if I'm wrong. And shout out to Mark P for doing this beautiful insert name, because I don't know what it is. Sakabaka, beautiful Soarer hanger. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And like I say, let's have a quick look underneath before we go. Nice touch. Oh. I don't think we're going to be able to see much really, and it's a bit pointless, but when we had a quick glance underneath, it looked really solid. So fingers crossed it's as solid here. Everywhere else, fingers crossed. So there we have it then, guys. All in all, a two-door luxury coupe from Toyota with a buttery smooth straight six, a beautifully, potentially smooth automatic gearbox, pearlescent paint and power folding mirrors. What's not to love? Moving forward, I think I need to go and order myself some parts. We'll start with some brakes, disc and pads all round, a fuel pump to get the thing running, a valve cover gasket, and then some servicing consumables. So in episode 2, we'll be getting all of that done, and then fingers crossed she'll run beautifully, and we'll drive straight to the MOT test station after a few test miles, get the MOT, and then drive off into the sunset to the Toyota National Day. Fingers crossed. It's a Toyota, they're reliable. It should be absolutely fine. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.